So there you go. And let's slice again. About a 1/2 inch thick. Hello, and welcome back to the Efficient Skillet. My name is Willie, and I hope that you're doing extremely well out there. I know that I am. Today's cooking video is brought to you in part by East Tex Real Estate Brokerage. Whether you're finding your dream home, looking for an investment property, or even selling a piece of your own real estate, don't settle for less than the best. See the folks at East Tex Real Estate Brokerage. Click their ad on our top headlines page. Today I'm going to show y'all how to make super moist, super flavorful meatloaf. Okay, so when it comes to making super moist, super flavorful meatloaf, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 3 eggs and put them in a large mixing bowl. And then we're going to take 1½ sleeves of Ritz crackers. And when it comes to these Ritz crackers, you just kind of push them together like this and squeeze this a little bit, and they'll crumble real easily. And then watch, when I dump them in, they'll just be just like we want them. So let's open it up now. Dump in our Ritz crackers, and there you go. And then, of course, a 1/2 sleeve also. You can just squeeze it like that, and then like that, and that's it. You're done. And then we're going to dump in a 1/2 cup of milk. Now with these 3 ingredients right here, we want to mix these together right quick. So mix our eggs, milk, and Ritz crackers. And everybody knows, just, you know, Ritz crackers are kind of like the Oreos of crackers. You know how Oreo cookies are just about America's favorite cookie. It's the same with crackers, man. Just about everybody loves Ritz crackers. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 1 small to medium-sized onion, finely chopped. Throw that in. Then we're going to take a 1/2 of green bell pepper, finely chopped, and 1/2 of either red or orange or yellow bell pepper, finely chopped. We're going to put in a 1/2 cup of green olives chopped, and it's okay if pimentos are in it. We're going to put in 3 cloves of finely chopped garlic. And a 1/2 cup of grated cheddar cheese. And we're going to take our old friend Mr. Bamboo Spoon and mix these ingredients together. Now at this point, we're going to stop right here, and we're going to put in 2 pinches. I like to use this kosher salt. 2 pinches of kosher salt. And we're going to put some black pepper in. I love black pepper, especially coarse ground black pepper. And continue mixing this. With our ingredients, with these ingredients mixed, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 1 pound of ground beef, and we're going to add 1 pound of ground pork. And so this right here, this is the 85% lean ground beef and 15% fat. I think with that ratio, you get a better result for more moistness in your meatloaf. And nobody wants to have dry meatloaf. You want moist meatloaf. Moist is much, much better. And 1 pound of ground pork. And what we're going to do now is, as much as I hate to do it, this is one of those instances where I have to put my hands in the food. So we're going to take all this stuff and just mix it together use your hands and just mix it. You want to mix it as quick as possible and not over mix it. When it comes to making things and you want moisture, like a moist cake, and you want tenderness and moisture, you want to be careful not to over mix stuff. So you want to do it, but do it gently, mix it respectfully, and mix it kind of fast. And get all these ingredients, get these two, your beef and your pork mixed together with these other ingredients, and then we'll take our next step. Okay, I've got the my electric skillet preheated to 250 degrees, and so what we're going to do now is take just a little bit of olive oil and put it in there. That's fine right there. Swirl this around just a little bit. I think that'll work. And then we're going to take our meatloaf mixture here, and we're going to put it right into our pan. And then we're going to form it. So we got our meatloaf in here. You want to just kind of take your bamboo spoon or wooden spoon, whatever, and then just on one side over here, just kind of push up like that and form a meatloaf. Now, when it comes to this meatloaf, you notice that we use 1 pound of ground beef and 1 pound of pork. The reason you do that is because if you went with just like 85% lean 2 pounds of ground beef, what would happen is when your meatloaf was ready, it would fall apart on you. Every time you sliced it, rather than getting a nice slice of meatloaf, it would fall apart, and that's not good. So just pour this into the pan and form it with your spoon and hands, or both hands or whatever, and just form your loaf. And I think that should do it right there. We're going to put our lid on. We're going to let this cook at 250 degrees for 45 minutes. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. We're going to lift our lid here, and here we're not finished with this yet. So everybody just calm down. We're not done yet. Here's our meatloaf at this point. As you can see, a lot of the fats and stuff have cooked out of it. But the cool thing about cooking with this lid on, as y'all know, is it traps the moisture in there and helps keep it moist, even though you're draining the fats, cooking the fats out of the meat. Anyway, what we're gonna do now is take this regular sheet type pan like this. And now what I'm gonna do is take this meatloaf and put it over onto this pan right here. And then we're gonna put it in the oven and cook it for 15 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna take 2 flippers here, and we're gonna lift our meatloaf out and place it right here on this baking pan. Now before we put this meatloaf into the oven, what I'm gonna do is you take 3/4 of a cup of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of mustard, and you mix it all together. And what you wanna do is, before we put it in the oven, we're gonna spoon it onto the top of our meatloaf here and spread it around, of course. There we go. And now we're ready to put this meatloaf in the oven. With our oven preheated to 400 degrees, we're going to take our meatloaf and we're going to leave that in there for 15 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so let's open the oven here. Now what we're going to do is pull our meatloaf out, and then I'm going to take this food thermometer here, and we're going to test to make sure our meatloaf is cooked all the way by sticking it right in the middle of the meatloaf. And I'm going to zoom right up. Now it has to get to 160 degrees. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, it's very thoroughly cooked. It's past 180, so this meatloaf is fully cooked. And here is our meatloaf. So there it is. There's our meatloaf. Now it's time to give it the test. Now typically when it comes to meatloaf, what you would do when serving this is you would typically start from the front and just start slicing and serving your family or guests or whatever. But for the purposes of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this meatloaf right down in half. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to put half of it right here on this plate, and then we're going to do a close-up cut into it and see how it looks. So here's half of the meatloaf. And let's start slicing on this and just see exactly. I'm slicing this about a 1/2 inch thick. So there you go. And let's slice again. About a 1/2 inch thick. There you go. So there, my friends, is some very, very moist, very, very tender meatloaf. Let's take a bite of this, shall we? Oh man. Wow. Man, that's good. You got the bell pepper. We've got chopped green olives in it, onions, garlic, Ritz crackers. You got the tomato on top of that. It's all just so good, folks. Now, and it's very moist. I don't mean to sound redundant, but it's very moist. It's very tender. Now, with meatloaf like this, typically you want to have on, this is going to be your main course, and you'll have with it mashed potatoes and then a vegetable of your choice, like peas or corn or green beans. It's really good. It's really easy to do. So anyway, we hope you try it, and we hope you like it. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. If you want to comment, please, about anything in the world, comment below. And you can email us, efficientskillet@gmail.com. Trump 2020. Oh, baby.